Rachel Clark, who's a doctor in Oxford, who says, Mr. Hunt has made me feel demoralised, insulted and cheap. He implies we're the problem. When I give my life to the NHS, it's so grim on the front line now, I sometimes work 14 or 15 hours straight without a second even to eat. I have never felt so despairing or so close to quitting medicine. Andy King, a registrar from Oxford, with so many patients to see, I'm absolutely petrified. I'm too exhausted to look after them safely. If we are stretched even more thinly over 7 days, I'm certain patients are going to die. This is what they're saying. One final one, Jane Genyon from Hereford. The profession is at absolute breaking point. I see doctors in tears because they are so despairing about what the future holds. Jeremy Hunt has done this. He's driving away a whole generation of doctors. Those are the voices of doctors right now. That's what they feel.
Yes, and it's incredibly disappointing that the totally irresponsible way that the BMA has behaved in refusing to sit down and talk about how we can improve patient care and spreading misinformation that those doctors, for example...
Have been hoodwinked. That seems to be their personal experience of daily life, not what the BMA is telling them.
Well, one thing I would agree with them and the BMA is that quite outside the contract, we need to do a number of things to improve the morale of junior doctors, and I think there's a lot we can do with respect to the training. But what I would say is, you know, one of the reasons for that anger, and there is anger there, is because they were told by the BMA that their pay was going to be cut. It isn't. They were told that they were going to be asked to work longer hours. They aren't. We're actually bringing down the hours they work. And if you're told by your union that the health secretary wants to do these awful things, of course you feel devalued. Now, the way to restore morale in the profession is to sit around the table, discuss what is the right thing to do for doctors and for patients, and also to look at the bigger picture, which is record resources going into the NHS. As I say, the 6th biggest increase in funding in 1 year in the history of nearly 70 years of the NHS. More doctors and nurses than ever. A total commitment by the government to making the NHS the highest quality, safest healthcare anywhere in the world. And, you know, there are always battles along the way, but I think what history will ask is, did the Health Secretary, did the government that's committed in its manifesto to 7-day services, did they do the right thing for patients to make care safer and better? And if they did, in the end, I think doctors too will say, well, you know, there was a big argument over it, but it was the right thing for the NHS.